Hey, my name is Yolanda, and welcome to Frank Factualities, the podcast. Tune in each week as I speak frankly about life experiences from my perspective and offer you a bit of unsolicited advice. Let's take a little time to laugh, to think, and to cry as we tackle some serious topics and some not so serious topics. Be sure you subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Hey, welcome to Frank Factualities, the podcast. My name is Yolanda. Thank you for tuning into my show for another week and joining me for another episode. I have an update. I made an appointment to the doctor. Yep, I did what I said I was going to do. I really didn't think I was going to do it. I tried. And all day or yesterday or whenever I tried, it was always an interruption. I couldn't make the call. I was on the call. I was on hold. I had to get off hold. And thank God, based on the type of insurance I had, they said I didn't need a referral. So I was grateful for that. I know that I've been to an orthopedic doctor before, but I really can't remember who it was. So I just called somebody that looked interesting, somebody who deals with the type of issue I have, elbow, shoulder, that kind of person. There was a lot of orthopedic that was like foot. So I just wanted to make sure it was somebody that specialized in my region of my body that's been bothering me. I wanted to go back to the doctor that I had in the past because I knew that they would have had some records, but I didn't have a really good experience. I felt like I told you all last week, I felt like my needs weren't being met and I was kind of overlooked. So I didn't want to have to deal with that again. I hope that this particular doctor will be a little bit more sympathetic to what I got going on and have some really good bedside manner. So we shall see. My appointment isn't soon. Y'all know how that go. When you make an appointment, you have to get the earliest available. And a lot of times that's weeks from the time that you call. I don't think mine is weeks. I didn't even look at the calendar. I think it's next week, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's next week. But anyway, I've been dealing with the pain for a while, so I think I can deal with it for another week. Probably not. I'll probably end up popping some more pills, but I just pray that it's not surgery. I really don't want to go through being put to sleep. I've been put to sleep before, but I don't ever want to do it if it's not absolutely necessary. But I don't even know, outside of taking like pain medicine religiously, I don't know how else it can be fixed if it's something like with the major issue. So I'll keep y'all updated when I go to the doctor and see what happens. So anyway, I still don't have any street talk. I'm still working. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it is what it is. But I've had some experiences in the last couple of days. The last couple of days, I have experienced so much selfishness and entitlement of people that I am exhausted mentally. I just have never met in my life as many people that feels as though I have to have what I want, when I want it, and how I want it. And if I don't get that, then I'm going to do whatever I need to do to make sure I destroy you. And I don't think it's that serious. And I also want to say something about people's work jobs, okay? Don't go on a people's work job and try to tell them what they know and what they don't know. If you're unsure about whether or not somebody's telling you a process or a procedure that you feel like isn't accurate or it shouldn't be the policy or procedure and you want to complain, then ask to speak to their supervisor. But in that moment, and if you get that same answer immediately from that supervisor, nine times out of 10, that person told you the truth. Don't go and complain and say somebody was nasty to you because you didn't like the answer that they gave, even though that was policy. Too often we feel like people are telling us a lie because they give us a rule, and because you want it, you expect for them to bend it. Nobody's jeopardizing their job behind you and your convenience and what you want. And don't think you know everybody's job. I'm not going to the McDonald's saying, you know what? I know you can use 2 coupons because somebody used it in the past. That person could have been dead ass wrong. That person could have been breaking all kind of rules. If a person tells you that that's their company policy, that's their company policy. Like, who the nerve of you to be like, no, that ain't what it is because this is what I want and I just need you to do it for me. Okay, no. I ain't gonna be able to do it. And I think that I'm not selfish, and I don't know why or where that comes from. I think that is like like a deficit in empathy, meaning empathy was never given to you. So you don't have it to give. Like, you don't know what that looks like. You've never been given grace. You were always the person that maybe everyone kind of told on you. You feel like, okay, I need this because if I don't do it for myself, it's not going to get done. It's a deficit of something. And I really don't know how to figure it out. But there's two things happened to me. But the last thing, I've done a lot of things for this person. And I'm just like, okay, you don't remember these things? Like, my own money out of my pocket, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, one thing doesn't go your way and everybody must die. And the sad part about it is I feel like I'm in the crossfire. I had nothing to do with the reason why you got wronged. Yes, I'm a part of the system, but at the end of the day, it ain't had nothing to do with me. I don't know why I had to catch a stray. You get what I'm saying? And then it was low key a lie. Now, I ain't gonna lie. Somebody be like, oh, so and so said this. She said this. I'm going to tell you if I said it now, because I don't have time to lie. But at the end of the day, I'm going to say it in a manner. I'm not going to be disrespectful. I'm never disrespectful. But if you and me got a rapport, you're going to hear it a certain kind of way. Now, come on, a certain type of way. If you and I have a rapport, you're going to hear it a certain type of way. And that could be like, I know you lying. Well, you should have asked me, because if you had asked me, I would have told you. You know. And you're not going to take it any type of way because you know me. We have a rapport. You've been around me. So if somebody else is in the vicinity and they take it in a different way, that's them taking it in a different way because they don't know how I speak in my demeanor and how I say things. That don't have nothing to do with you. If that person didn't feel no type of way about it, then how you got the nerve to feel some type of way about it? They didn't feel no type of way about it. So, I don't have time for that. Listen, I'm having all kind of ailments. I'm getting older. I realize my patience is getting very slim for these kind of things. Very, very, very slim. And I just want to be normal. I don't want to deal with no pain. I don't want to deal with frustration. I wish I could retire, but I ain't got the money, which most people in my age don't. And I really wish that the world told me about financial stability. I think that as we are growing up, we learn about going to college. They talk about you getting a good job and making sure that you can support your family. But I don't know if anybody, even my friends that may have come from 2-parent households who, parents had decent jobs, talked about securing a bag for your future, financial stability, retirement, 401k, pensions, whatever. Them conversations ain't been had. And I notice a thing about me, whenever I feel like there's been a deficit of something in my life, I try to make sure I add it someplace. So I didn't really have that skill when my daughter came around because I was just still so young. So I didn't really have an opportunity to kind of give her a skill that I never acquired or help her with something that I didn't. She got to experience life. I gave her the ability to be free to explore and do things that she liked to do. So that was whatever sport she wanted to do, go on any field trip she wanted to do. And that was something that I didn't really get a chance to experience. And so I wanted to offer her that freedom of just, exploring. Now that my son's coming around and he seemed to be, pretty smart for the most part. And I realized I was a different person. Of course, I'm matured. I knew I was going to be the sit down, do your homework type. Let's go over this. Let's review it. And I knew that I was weak in math, very weak in math. My husband was better than me, but that wasn't, history is his strong suit. He's smarter than me. He's the smartest person I know. So no matter what, I knew he would be able to help our son. But math was so weak for me. I'm like, no, this boy is going to learn math and he's going to be good at it. And we're not going to have these problems because I really can't help him when we start getting into these complicated things. So when he was about, I don't know, he was young. It was before he learned his multiplication. We bought a multiplication chart. The ones that we had back in our day. We bought it and I knew that there was a new math. So they were teaching the kids a different way of how to do their multiplications. But what I knew is every single equation is all centered around multiplication. And if you know your multiplications, you know your division because it's all hand in hand. So we got the chart and we put it on the wall next to his bed in his room. And that was something that we went over with him always. And he had a great memory. I don't even know if his memory is the same now. But I mean, the boy could remember anything. I could teach him a speech in one day and he would remember it the next day. So it was really easy to teach him things back then. And he memorized his multiplication tables. And to this day, he just knows them. So math has just become easier because that's just one barrier he had to that he had to overcome, or he overcame prior to getting into the education system. And I can tell you now, when I'm talking to my students at school about like transcripts or something, usually you would be surprised when I'm like, okay, guys, yes, you need 24 credits to graduate, but 8 times 4 is what? And I'll get silence. Come on, somebody, 8 times 4. Somebody will yell the answer. And I'm like, okay, well, that's how many credits you'll get by being in school, because we give you 8 classes over 4 years. But I promise you, I heard everything from 18. I'm like, 18, 38, whatever, anything but the right answer. And so it just makes you realize, like, everybody don't know the answer. Everybody don't know that 8 times 4 is 32. Everybody don't know that. So now my son will sit there and I know he know the answer and won't say anything because he's just too cool for school. But at the end of the day, I know he wants it. I say all that to say he wants to go into like accounting and that, like, money management. And I think that's so dope because he can do math in his head. He not one of them kids, if you mess around and he working at the register and the register is down and he has to deal with cash, he can't give you your money back now. He can give you money back. And I just so love that. Like, I even use him. Okay, what's so-and-so percentage of this when I'm trying to give a tip or something? How much is that? And he'll run it in his head and just give it. So I really appreciate that. And he's going to be able to provide something to our family that we've never had, at least my side, at least, that he's going to be some sort of financial advisor, someone who knows money management enough to be able to advise about finances, where you should invest, how you should save, Roth IRAs, all that stuff won't be a foreign language to him. And I feel like if I had learned this stuff in the past, then I would be able to secure a better future and I won't feel like I'm working hard. Now, no, I haven't been on the job that I'm on right now for a very long time. However, all of us have probably been working since you were like 15, 16, whatever. And then depending on whether you had to work or not will depend on if you're tired or you're not tired. So I couldn't work when I was 15, 16 years old because I didn't have transportation to get to and from a job. So I had to wait until I was in a position to be able to work. And even when I got my first job, I still didn't have transportation. I was catching rides left and right. I was catching rides to go to college. I didn't have transportation to even put myself in school. I couldn't stay on campus because I had a child and I needed to be able to have her with me. And no one talked to me about, I know my school had like marriage housing, but I didn't think that my school allowed you to bring a child on campus as like a dorm setup. So that never crossed my mind. Like, oh, you can stay on campus with your child. I just knew I had a child. And 9 times out of 10, I wasn't going to be able to stay on campus. So I stayed home meaning wherever the hell I could find a place to lay my head, because at that time I was homeless. So I told you all before, I got kicked out at 17. So I've kind of been on my own since then, house to house. I rented a couple of spots, got evicted, homeless, rented a couple of spots, got evicted, homeless, that back and forth thing, all while working, all while trying to go to college and make something of myself. And all because I was fucking up money, right? I didn't know how to manage it. And when I got a little bit of it, it was like, okay, I need these things or I want these things and I don't want to be without. And then you end up being without. And I learned a very long time, which is something I've been instilling in my daughter. Don't borrow what you don't already have. We get into this, I'm going to take a loan out. Well, if you don't have the money now, you're going to have to pay that loan back. How you going to have it later? Unless you just, something came up, an emergency, like, okay, the car broke down. God forbid you had a flat tire and you had to take the money that you had that was like this backup to use right then. And so now you need something to replace it, but you're going to have that money. You just need this certain money now. You know what I'm saying? Like, or if the car broke down and you don't have it, but you're going to get it in 2 weeks. All right, I'm going to go ahead and borrow this money now and I'm going to give it back to them in 2 weeks. But that's not how it works. What happens is you borrow that money, 2 weeks come and you're like, ooh, I don't want to be out that money. And so you just now paid a little minimum. You paid a minimum And then you get in the cycle of this loan thing that you can't keep up with. And that's what kind of messed me up back in the day. I had like check cashing loans. I had regular loans. I got title loans. Like I was just loaning all over the place. I got refund checks from school that I was blowing. I mean, I used them to get a car here and there, paid a deposit on rent. But I always tell the kids, you see someone at their ripe age and you just assume that life was planned out, that life went well, and there were no hiccups. But boy, were there hiccups. You see what I'm saying? And I feel like I ain't overcome. I heard someone on a reel say that middle class people are just people who are doing enough not to get back into low class, right? We're just getting by. I call it the working poor, right? We're working. And people might call us middle class, but you're working poor. You're just, because any day you don't work, you're going to be poor. And I don't want to be like that. If I didn't have to work for 6 months, or if I couldn't work for 6 months, or even, God forbid, a year, I want to be able to still keep up with my lifestyle. By that, I mean, I eat out just about every day. I don't want it to be like that's big back behavior. I just mean like, I don't really have, when I'm working, I don't got time to cook when I come home. I do have time, but I don't. Like mentally, I'm drained. I don't want to focus on anything. And cooking is not a passion of mine. I don't get excited about it. I don't like it. So it's just going to further stress me out if I got to prep, ask everybody what they want. Half of the time, the stuff I'm cooking, I can't eat. So now I got to cook something separate. It's just a nightmare. So give me all my free time. I really don't do it on weekends either. There's just 2 days. Sometimes I might do a Sunday every now and then, but I promise you it's rare. Summertime, I start that cooking process, but it's not like we really just make stuff on the summer, if that makes sense. So you got stuff to make a salad and everybody just kind of prepares their own little meal. It really not no pots going in the house like that. That's just not my vibe. My husband knows it. He's been doing that for a little minute now. You know what I'm saying? It's just not my thing. So I want to be able to still do that. I want to be able to drive in the morning, go get me a breakfast sandwich if I want. And I don't eat out every single meal because that would be ridiculous. But most of the time, breakfast and dinner, maybe breakfast and lunch. It's usually not 3 for sure. And sometimes it's just breakfast for me because everybody on their own. My son got his own money. He drives to school. My husband got his own vibe. He can fend for himself in the morning as well. So sometimes for breakfast is just me, and then I get everybody dinner. I still let it be my responsibility, right? So I still feed them as the woman of the house. I provide the meals. They just eat out. But my son ain't complaining. He can get hibachi every day. They can get seafood, whatever type of seafood they want. Whatever. I want Subway today. So ain't no complaining. You know what I'm saying? Everybody feel like, all right. But then sometimes my husband probably the only person that'll be like, he want to cook something. And then I've taught my son how to make his own little one too. Now this summer, my granddaughter was here. That was a lot of people, different from my normal, right? So we did a lot of prepping. We bought microwave things. We bought stuff for him to make sandwiches, that kind of thing. But I just want to be, and I always hear like, oh, you need an emergency fund. You need at least $1,000 for an emergency. And then you need to have at least 3 months of your rent or like bills saved. 3 months of your bills just saved. So I need an emergency fund. And now everybody know, okay, you get a savings. But the savings ain't the emergency fund, and the emergency fund ain't the savings. And so just trying to navigate through all of that. And then do you have a high yield savings? Are you investing in anything? I don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to invest in. I don't know what's right. And to me, all of the financial advisors always come across as scammers. They seem like Ponzi scheme people. They're going to invest here, and then over time, it's going to make you this kind of. I always think Wolf of Wall Street, right? And I just wish there was somebody that I knew and I trusted that can be like, man, you ain't gonna do that, because not everybody trying to look for a commission or a bonus or just new clientele. And I don't know any of those people. Some people have, I'm with Prime America. That I don't want that. I want somebody who that's just what they do. They know a couple of things, and I help you out. It ain't what I do. Like, I ain't around here charging people because that's what I do. But that's what I do. And let me show you what I do, because I do it for me and I've done it for my people, and that's how I go. So I pray that that's something my son really wants to get into. because I really would love for him to be in a position where he could move the family forward. And I don't have the skill in that area to be able to move it forward. I've already done my breaking generational curses thing. I've done that already on multiple levels, but I don't think that I've cracked that open. You know, yes, I bought a house, something that my immediate family hasn't done. I got a couple of aunts that have done that and have in doing it. But as far as like the majority of us, And so I feel like, and now it's not just me. I'm not saying I'm the only one, because I'm not. But for my immediate, like I said, I'm breaking some of these curses in my house and how I was raised and what went on. And I just hope to continue to do that. And I don't want to live through my kids. I want my kids to live their life based on the mistakes and the journey that I've gone through, so that they can be better prepared for what I wasn't prepared for. And if he doesn't decide to major in that, that's fine. I would just hope that he explores it, and I will help him get himself situated so that he can have those accounts and investments now, so that he's better prepared later, because somebody got to take care of me. You know, I don't think we think about that either. I'm talking about how I'm going to take care of myself. But what happens when I can't take care of myself, even with whatever money I have, and then, or my money isn't enough and somebody has to come out of pocket with it, or my husband? Our kids got to be in a position to be able to take care of us, or we're going to be in some slum. So this is what I worry about on a day-to-day. I worry about this kind of stuff. I am so much so an overthinker, and the only peace for an overthinker is sleep, right? It's the only peace. You get to sleep, and hopefully your dreams don't stress you out when you wake up. That's it. That's a overthinker's vacation, sleeping. So when I go to bed, the worries are gone. And when I wake up, sometimes new worries arise because I've been thinking. So I'll give you an example. So yesterday, someone knocked on my door. I wasn't sleeping, but I was at work. And for whatever reason, the little voice activated thing wasn't working. I kept pressing like, hey, I want to say something, like, hello, what do you want? What do you want? But I couldn't. And the dude looked so sketchy knocking on my door. Now, mind you, I don't really live in a real neighborhood. So when I say that, there's not really neighbors. I got one neighbor. And then I got businesses that are my neighbors, which really ain't a business full time. One is, one isn't. Ain't really got neighbors like that. And my neighbor works too. So, and he's kind of like tucked off in the corner. All I'm saying is somebody done tried to kick my door in before, and somebody's been successful in it. So we got some security measures that we need now. But it's still a fear in mine, like, okay, why was he at the door? Was he peeping to see if somebody was home because a car wasn't in the yard? So now he knows, all right, if I come this time, nobody's going to be home. And now we can get and do whatever I want to do. Was I thinking he just knocked on the door to say, hey, is that house over next door to you for rent or for sale or whatever? That happens to us a lot with the house that's next door to us. It's never going to be for rent, but people constantly come and ask about it. And there's another vacant home on the street as well. So we get that because our house, I guess, looks the most like, okay, I know somebody stay there. But I don't like it. I don't like strangers around, and it creates anxiety for me because of what has already happened. And I just don't like people tracking me or knowing a pattern of mine. And my husband says that I'm scary. Call it what you want. But it definitely does bother me. So I don't know. But I'm not going to belabor this conversation because that's just it. So if you or anyone you know is a financial guru, man, tell them people to hook me up. You know what I'm saying? Give me some insight at my big age of 46 that I can do that's not going to kill me every single month, that I can invest in, that's going to put me in a position. I ain't got much time, but I don't want to be working past 60. I know I'm probably going to have to, but I don't want to. I'm so serious. And even if I don't have the age at my job to leave my job, I want to leave my job. If I don't have the years to leave my job, I want to leave my job. I don't want to be working. I want to be able to be retired and still be able to do things. I want to be lively. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to move around. I don't want to have to, I'm retired. And even if I wanted to do something else, I can't because whatever job I'm on, ran me raggedy. And that's how I feel now. Like I've been working a desk job all of my life. So even before I was in school system, I worked call center. So I was always sitting down at a desk, working and looking at a computer. When I tell you my neck and my back all ache me, and now my arm and my wrist. And so I know every job comes with it's like, okay, because I'm on my feet all day, this is what's wrong with my feet. Because I drive a truck all day, this is what has happened. But boy, when I tell you, driving a car ain't comfortable based on the way my neck is set up. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God. So I just recently bought some things for my desk to help me out with that. I bought a laptop raiser thingy, right? So now it sits up eye level. I bought some like brace thing for the chair for my back, so it helps me to sit up straight. I of course got the little mouse pad razor thing, the wrist thing. I always had all of those things, and I know sometimes I don't always do that, especially when I'm working at home, but I got to remember to make sure that I put my body in a position to be successful to do the task I'm asking it to do. And getting old isn't easy, y'all. And recognizing that you can't do the same thing you've been doing, like staying up to 3, 4 in the morning to do work and only getting 2, 3 hours of sleep and starting over the same almost 21 hours a day, just working nonstop. I used to be able to do that. My body said, bitch, hell no. What the fuck? Like, who the hell you think we are? I can't go nonstop like that now. So I think I done broke my body down, at least that part of it. And it's my right arm. Like, yo, I can't hardly do shit without feeling the pain. Let me stop because I'm getting frustrated and y'all ain't did nothing to me. So anyway, until next week, y'all, I'll holla. Bye.